All right, we got a fun stack of books today to review. See what happens. See if we can get through all of them. Starting out with Married with Children, number 1. Number 2. Number 3. I found on eBay. I finally got this run. I thought I had one of these covers, but I read all the comics that I have, so I don't recognize these stories. Our first issue. And these are done by Catherine Llewell, Dave Schwartz, Dave Mowry, and Jay Strangelin. Colored by Kent Smith, lettered by Joseph Allen. We start out with Peggy just kicking back, taking a break from all her hard housework that she does and cooking. And she finds out that there's a contest on TV for an all American family. And she, of course, lies her teeth off and sends in a thing. And they end up getting selected as the All American Family. Whereas I think for 40 days or something like that, the TV screws, the TV cruise comes in uh, and takes over the house, keeps an eye on everything that's going on, which you can imagine all kinds of scary stuff's going to happen for them if they're in the Bundy household. And of course, Steve and Marcy. I think Steve's the. No, I think Steve was her other boyfriend. But I don't know. This might be Steve and Marcy. Yeah, it is. Yeah, dorkier one was Steve. But they, of course, pop in trying to show off to get themselves on TV, and all kinds of things happen in the Bundy way. Just, yeah, it was fun. I loved how this is a 3-issue run. I don't know if there could be more, but each issue is a standalone, so you don't have to worry about reading them in order or anything like that. You can pick them up and read them as you go, as you want, and it would work out just as good for you. And our next story is Viva Las Bundays, where they happen to have something happen that gets them a trip to Vegas through a shoe sales contest type thing. But the way they win it is by Kelly hooking up with a rock star. The rock star ends up doing some appearances at the shoe store that gets a lot more customers to help Elle win the trip. And they end up going to Vegas with the rock star. They end up blowing up a bunch of his money and end up screwing up his life along the way, as the Bundys do. It's everything just falls apart for them with all their little quirky stories. And then we got Schaumburg Valley PTA, where the school is trying to get Peg to do something to be part of the school. While at the same time, we got Kelly being abused by some of the other cheerleader squad type girls. And Kelly finds a way to take out her frustration on them, while at the same time, Peg is trying to help run the PTA, and when she does, a lot of things go wrong, and she finds a way to flip things so she doesn't have to uh, basically do anything. They want to get rid of her, get her out of there, and they'll take over her old job just to have her gone. And yeah, lots of Bundy happiness with those 3 issues. I'm very glad I found them, and obviously don't have any of those ones in my collection, thankfully, so far. Then we checked out from Spawn Universe Misery, issue 1 of 4. I don't think I picked up number 2 or anything. I just wanted to see what was up with this. Of course, this is Todd McFarlane, Simon Kodransky working on this, and we basically get to see this gal that's just living her life, dealing with police, crime scenes and stuff, and it takes a lot of deep, dark turns. Obviously, it's called Misery, but we see a character that got hit by a vehicle. There's some stuff behind it, why he got hit, but we have a character that's kind of like stuck in traffic because of it. She ends up late for where she's supposed to be, and ends up costing her a lot because of it. And then we kind of go to this young gal that I don't feel like it's Wanda. I thought the story was going to be off Al's wife, Wanda, and we were going to learn about it, but it just seems like it's like Wanda's kid, is how I took it from the storyline. But I'm not positive. I don't really know where these characters are lined up from. We don't get enough information here. I would like to have. I would like to get the rest of the run after it comes out, but if you're into the deep, gritty crime type storylines and stuff like that, this would probably be good for you. And it's like I've been reading. I read the first 3 or 4 issues of Sam and Twitch, and Twitch happens to appear in here. So there's some crossovers with that. That who knows if this is gonna line up with that crime that Twitch is working on to help his friend out. And then with Sam's, I have no idea where Sam is, or if he's gonna hook back up with Twitch. I would assume so, since it's called Sam and Twitch. But yeah, it's interesting how he popped up in here, and the way he popped up in here. That's why I feel that this is gonna somehow cross over with that. But I could have swore where Twitch is working on his current crime scene is kind of more like a country style uh, town, whereas this is more big city. So, not really positive where the two timelines line up. Uh, but it would be kind of cool if they do cross over, and then we find out that whatever she's dealing with a criminal, that it might help out with Twitch's uh, murderer that he's trying to find, the one that's dismembering everybody and stuff. But yeah, I'm glad I picked up issue 1 just to check it out, but I didn't get enough information to know exactly who all the characters are. Definitely need to get into issue 2, but I'll wait till they're in a bargain bin and I'll pick up the last 3 and see what happens with it. Alright, another Spawn Universe title. We got Monolith number 2 of 3. He's still dealing with his big boss, pushing him around. And we're finding out more about that story, what's going on with that. This is by Sean Lewis, Todd McFarlane, Valerio Giordano. But our Monolith character hops on a vehicle and escapes the prison colony planet type thing that he's dealing with. And we find out about Mother Gaia and the planet eater creatures, these giant worm creatures, and they're basically working their way towards Earth. Monolith's trying to get back to Earth. Monolith's, of course, I can't. I think it's Omega Spawn, but he's basically controlling everything and not realizing in his own way that no matter what he does, if he doesn't get rid of these planet eaters are going to eat whatever planet he's on too. So you got all that going on while these two characters are just battling away, trying to figure out if they can work together or if they're going to be against each other. And while they're battling, lots of people are getting wiped out, killed, injured, and there's buildings being ripped down and all that stuff. So they're not really paying attention to their environment around them. But sadly, someone that pulls on your heartstrings a little bit that you get to like and know ends up having something happen to them. And that's what kind of sets Monolith off. And then, of course, Omega Spawn is right there in the center of things. And so that's just going to cause all kinds of issues with Monolith. But I like that character. I want to see more of it. I'm kind of sad that it's only a 3-issue run for this one. So hopefully they'll bring back the title and do another run with it. We'll see what happens. We got Mortal Terror number 4. I think this is the last one. Not positive though. It could be 5 issues. If I can get my. But yeah, Christopher Golden and Tim Leben. We got Peter Bergting, Chris O'Halloran, Clem Robbins, Peter Bergting, and Daniel Sarah. You kind of a sacrificial worshiping type thing going on with some characters and dealing with a lot of demons and stuff in this book. It's a very interesting twist on the whole Dracula storyline because your vampires are humans, your humans are vampires. Their abilities are totally twisted in this story, but you're dealing with Harker and Mina and all the different characters. It's just my problem with it is I think it's coming out every 2 months, maybe. And that's why every time I read another issue, I'm lost where I'm at. And I gotta constantly try and remind myself that all the characters are opposite what they used to be. Our Renfield character, he's still a psycho, but yet everything it plays in a different way. It's like if a human bites you, you turn into a vampire. Vampire bites you, or if a vampire is bitten by a human, they turn back into a human. If a human's bitten by a vampire, I don't know. It's very confusing. It's like it was nice when I read the first issue. Had it all in my head. And then I had to wait. The second issue came, and I'm like, well, what was this again? Was this like 3 standalone stories of just horror? And then I start reading, and it's like, oh yeah, this is based off Dracula. And so yeah, I hate when you gap stuff so far apart that I forget what's going on with the storyline. I really wish they'd just stick with it and pull it out. But yeah, what you gonna do? Yeah, it's Space Ghost number 2 and number 3 came in at the same time, so we got caught up on this story. Just so good. So good. David Papose, Jonathan Lau takes what you would expect to be cartoony, more kiddish, young adult friendly-ish, and gives it a more serious twist to it. It's doing great with their storyline on it so far. Uh, thing I didn't like about this one, they did a Johnny Quest sneak peek in here, and for some reason, they put the sneak peek a couple pages in. So you get a 4-page Johnny Quest sneak peek right in the middle of your storyline. And it's like, why? Why wouldn't you do like every other sneak peek and leave it at the end of the book? I don't know. It has nothing to do with our storyline. So it was kind of weird that they did that. But we see our kids and Space Ghost going back to Space Ghost's planet. Uh, they're trying to find out more stuff about him, trying to find out what's going on, why he's helping them after their dad was killed, or we don't know for sure what happened. Uh, I think both their dad and Space Ghost have the same name, but it's not their dad, I guess. But yet he's got a picture of a whole different family that he apparently lost that we're gonna eventually find more out about, but we don't really find out much in here. But the kids sit there and go back to his planet. They play around with some things. He has to go deal with an environmental hazard that happened to come upon their planet, and he sits there and goes up to take care of it. And while he's taking care of it, of course, the boy jumps in his ship and plays around with the ship. The girl's playing around with some computer stuff, and they're both very smart. The monkey's very intelligent. The monkey's being hunted by the bad guys because the monkey has some type of special chip in him that makes him as intelligent that he is and all that stuff. So the bad factions after him for the monkey mainly. The whole crew, if they can, they make a deal with this lady at Space Ghost. Just happens to know another evil person, and she happens to set up a trap for him and stuff. And there's all kinds of crossovers with the organizations and all that stuff. But it is cool because I like how they introduced kids with Space Ghost on his planet. He actually accepts some of the things he does. He keeps telling them, "Don't do this unless I say so," and then they go off and do it. But they end up with being as intelligent as they are. They actually do have times where they do help Space Ghost, even though there's times where they make things worse. Also, but it just I would have never expected a Space Ghost storyline to like that with more adultish, not really adultish, but just more darkish imagery to the character and all that and the surroundings. But yeah, I mean the kids are still a blast and everything. Even with Space Ghost, it's fun. We're seeing some fun characters that are and entities that are popping up and stuff in the storyline. But yeah, I'll stick on Space Ghost as long as they put that out. I love that. I really like a lot of the stuff that's been coming back lately, and they've been doing a wonderful job with it. All right, our final one we're going to talk about today, or three, is Spider Island. Number one, number two, and number three. And I guess this is off the Secret Wars run. Sadly, there's more of these, apparently, than just these three. But what we're dealing with is, let's see, do we have a synopsis here? Yep. And it's done by Christos Cage, Paco Diaz, Frank Armada, and Travis Lanham. The multiverse was destroyed in Secret Wars. The heroes of Earth 616 and Earth 1610 were powerless to save it. Now all that remains is Battleworld, a massive patchwork planet composed of the fragments of worlds that no longer exist, maintained by the iron will of its god and master Victor Von Doom. Each region is a domain unto itself. And you got all your superhero characters. A lot of them have been turned into spiders. There you see Captain Spider there. Uh, but yeah, it's like they're battling against this sect of these spider creatures and the bad superheroes that are part of their group, trying to find a cure, something. They have come up with some things that worked with some people. Uh, I know Iron Man, they did something too. Captain America, they brought back through it, got him back to the gang, but they're all using different characters' cure bases, like Morbius. His basically concoction is used on someone. Tony Stark takes the Green Goblin's uh, serum So he gets Green Goblin in his blood. And it's fun watching all these characters deal with this. But now, of course, we got the pterosaurus. I can't remember the lizard, the dinosaur creature. His DNA apparently has something that they think they can make work with it and cure everybody and get rid of all these uh, transformations into these spider creatures that they're going through. But yeah, we see a lot of big old battles. They're going off trying to get into the spider realm to sit there and uh, get some things they need for a cure. And while they're doing that, they're being chased down by all kinds of nasty looking spider characters. But yeah, this is very much like Marvel Zombies, uh, DC versus vampires, all that type storylines where all the characters, some of them transform, some don't, and they got to find the cures and get them all saved and all that stuff. I liked it. I liked that storyline. I was bummed when I finished the third one and realized I didn't have them all. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bought those three. I would have just waited until I found a complete set. I will look for the rest of them. I don't know if there's 4 or 5 or however many there are, because I want to know what happens in the end. Who does what? But I like that the Hulk is like Hulk. They must have cured hit. I don't know if he has the spider ability or not. I wouldn't think so with his blood and all that. I don't think they could really transform him. But he's a lizard Hulk. So I'm like, how did that happen? But all these different Earths and stuff like that. I'm sure, that's just the basis behind it. But yeah, fun seeing all the characters when they get mixed up into other creatures and stuff like that. So, but that's it for today. Rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend, give us some likes. Keep following Crimson Color Comic Club. Lots more videos coming out. Just keep an eye out for the ones that you want to watch. There's plenty of different stuff out there. So a little bit of something for a little bit of everybody. Uh, check out Crimson Color Comic Club. We'll get back to you again soon. All right. Bye.